Good morning, I am Dr. Durafly. This is my H.K.Lancaster. Been flown successfully since the beginning of this year. Controlled by a multiplex Raw Pro 7-channel and a 7-channel receiver. Lots of little modifications on this to reduce weight and improve its flying characteristics. You will see the flaps, fixed flaps fitted just underneath the wing in the takeoff position. The rudders are fixed as standard, and all the guns are in and all the propellers are on. If you look very closely down the trailing edge of the wing, you will see a little bit of washout, small washout on the wingtip, and the aileron is raised. The aileron is raised. I'm using standard propellers with the propeller spinners cut out and balanced, and the propellers, the hubs were machined on a lathe and balanced again to get them into the correct places on the hubs. And looking very closely, you can see the pilot and navigator that fly this wondrous machine. Now I've got it upside down now on a modified keyboard stand. As we go around, you will see that the ailerons have maximum leverage on the servos, with the servo arms push forwards on the spline, and you can see the hole where I had to push a screwdriver to release the screw holding the servo horn. I've put larger holes in the back of the nacelles to let air out of the nacelle. It's no use pushing air in unless you can get air out. And a better view of the fixed flaps. The tail wheel there only goes 10 or 12 degrees each side. There's a castering tail wheel. The elevators are very stiff as standard, and these are fitted with hinges. These are fitted with hinges in the elevators. Looking around the other side of the model, and you will also see, if I point, 1, 2, 3, these are the blisters for the fuel pumps for each of the fuel tanks, and another 1, 2, 3 blisters on the other wing. These blisters do not help the aerodynamic characteristics, and these have been cut off with a razor blade. And again, for mechanical aileron differential, the servo horn is moved forwards by putting a screwdriver through a hole. Doesn't need a lot of movement, but maximum leverage for the ailerons, and both ailerons up very slightly. The trailing edge underneath, the foam is crushed, and the leading edge is crushed to provide a better wing section and washout. The centre of the wing the foam is also crushed with a 1/4 inch bar to provide a flatter section underneath the wing to improve the lift. You can see the gap on the propellers behind the spinners is about right, much less. And the wheels, these are 60mm diameter wheels, 60mm diameter, because the 50mm is too small. Both undercarriages are pushed forwards by a washer underneath, so the wheels are slightly further forwards, and to give clearance when they retract inside. The retracts work very well. So I'll open the bomb bay. The first thing you will see, I've removed the rods from the bomb bay. They were just weight and it doesn't need them. The battery fits vertical in a plywood box, mirror-like ply, that is epoxied, and the wings seat against the plywood on the inside, and the battery goes there. The weight in the front has been removed. The weight in the front has been removed, and another plywood brace is added there with the Velcro underneath to mount the multiplex 7-channel receiver. If I pull these out, you can see the wires, and I use a Dean's plug for my normal batteries. Tuck that back in there to keep it tidy, and you'll see the two aerials for the multiplex receiver. One goes horizontal and one is bent vertically, so I've got 90 degrees, one vertical, one horizontal for correct polarization. The elevator doesn't need much movement. I'm on the third hole out with the wires bent very carefully and lightly oiled to provide virtually zero friction to the elevator. As standard, they are very stiff and do not trim well. So there we go, we'll go and have another flight with this, which this aircraft is about 65 grams lighter than standard, and improved lift on the wing. It flies, you know, very well, very pleased with it. Thank you very much indeed. You don't have to do all these modifications. It'll fly without hardly any mods at all, but every little helps. And I forgot to add, the standard nuts on the spinners, they have been replaced by aluminium nuts. This saves a further 3 grams in weight. Happy landings from Dr. Durafly.